טסים לעולם, שלום רב על ישראל עמך, טסים לעולם, טסים לעולם, טסים לעולם, טסים לעולם, טסים לעולם. Shabbat Shalom, 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 אז ימלא צחוקנו ולשוננו רינה, אז יאמרו בגויים הגדיל אדוני לעשות מלך. Shabbat Shalom,
If you could, welcome, welcome everyone. If you could please take your seats, we're going to get started in just a couple minutes. So if you could please take your seats, thank you.
Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break.
Welcome everyone. Please take your seats. We're going to start. Thank you.
With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
morning, everybody.
No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hillel of San Diego groundbreaking for the Beverly and Joseph Glickman Hillel Center. I'm Todd Kirshen, and I have the distinct pleasure of serving as the Hillel of San Diego Board President, and I share the stage with our Executive Director, Karen Perry. I also want to acknowledge and thank Congressman Scott Peters of California's 52nd Congressional District, who is represented by Jason Berkovich, Director of Constituent Services today. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria.
Woo.
San Diego City Councilman Joe LaCava. Former Council President Pro Tem Barbara Bree. Former Congresswoman Lim Schenk. Diana Lara on behalf of Senator Tony Atkins. And UC San Diego's Chancellor Pradeep Khosla. Who are all honoring us with their presence at today's celebration.
We'd also like to welcome some of our amazing community partners and my friends, Heidi Gantwerk from the Jewish Federation, Michael Hopkins from JFS, Bess Searle from Jewish Community Foundation, Charlene Seidel from the Leashtag Foundation, Betsy Lynch from the Lawrence Family JCC, Jacobs Family Campus, Pam Ferris from Seacrest, who's here virtually, Buddy Voigt from Camp Mountain High, Rabbi Meltzer, Rabbi Ertel, Rabbi Hajjaj, Rabbi Schulman, Rabbi Lawson, Rabbi Rydberg, and Rabbi Marcus.
And we especially want to thank all of you, community members, alumni, parents, students. Each of you are part of the Hillel of San Diego family, and we are so grateful to each of you.
Today marks a very significant milestone in a 20-year pursuit. And I want you to take a moment and just look around. Notice the friends sitting next to you, the community members you might not know, the students, alumni, Hillel staff, and our esteemed building team all sharing this space together. We did this together. And before we move on, we'd like to take the time to collectively acknowledge the holiness of this very moment by sharing in the Shechechianu prayer. If you scanned and got your program or you have it, you can pull that up if you need it. And we're going to say it as one community. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shechechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Amen.
Amen.
We want to thank each of you for being here today at this momentous occasion, for supporting the future of the Jewish community, and for helping impact the lives of thousands of young people who are going to go off and change the world. We are part of history.
Woo! That's a big deal.
And with that, I'd like to welcome the president of the San Diego Rabbinical Association and senior rabbi at Temple Emmanuel, Rabbi Devorah Marcus.
Good morning. It's my honor to be here representing the San Diego Rabbinic Association and all of the rabbis who are so thankful and grateful that this moment has finally arrived. And so we offer this blessing. Mishaberach avotenu ve'imotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, ve'Yaakov, Sar, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah. May the Holy One who blessed our ancestors bless our community who has come here today to celebrate this moment of a new beginning after a very long journey. May this new Hillel building on which we break ground today ever serve as a reminder to our community of the fruits of unceasing devotion and dedication to important matters and ideas. May this space always serve as a lesson that no matter the challenges we face, no matter the anti-Semitism we encounter, no matter the push to keep our people out of any place, our individual and collective dedication to building and maintaining safe space for our community will always prevail. God, we thank you for the leadership of our Hillel staff and our board. We thank you for the persistence of our leadership who has fought long and hard for this beautiful day. We thank you for the generosity and visionary leadership of our donors and our volunteers who have made this dream possible. We thank you for our students who, in spite of ongoing anti-Semitism, are insistent on having a safe and Jewish space in which to gather, in which to organize, in which to learn, and in which to live their Jewish values. May these walls which we begin to build today be open enough to let in ideas and people, and may they be able to flow with freedom and thoughtfulness. May they be strong enough to provide safe space and shelter. May they be low enough to never be a barrier to participation, and may they be wide enough to allow everyone who would like to be here to have a seat at these tables. Most importantly, God, may the students of UC San Diego always know that we, their San Diego Jewish community, are here for them as mentors, as guides, as supporters, teachers, and fellow travelers on the path of Jewish life. May our new Hillel ever serve as a beacon of biyachad, togetherness, tzedakah, generosity and justice, gimilut chasadim, acts of loving kindness, lemidah, learning, bina, wisdom, and tikkun olam, repairing the world, but above all, and most importantly, a beacon of shalom, of peace. May this be your will, God, as it is ours, and together we say, Amen.
Holy words. Wow. Thank you, Rabbi Marcus. Representative Peters. Okay, so we're going down the storyline. Representative Peters was the District 1 representative, including La Jolla, on the City Council when the project was first brought for approval in 2006. He was and always has been a strong and vocal supporter of the Glickman Hillel Center and a great friend to our community. As our Congressman, Representative Scott Peters continues to be an incredible support of Hillel and our Jewish community at large. And now I was going to invite Representative Scott Peters himself to speak, but he had to fly back to Washington, D.C. at the last minute to back a bill about affordable drug pricing policy. Well, I guess that's important too. Anyway, he most definitely had planned to be here and had already prepared his remarks, and so on his behalf, I get the joy of introducing Director of Constituent Services, Jason Berkovich, who will be sharing Representative Scott Peters' words.
Good morning. So I'd just like to read a statement on behalf of Congressman Scott Peters, who of course apologizes for not being here today, but you may have seen in the news he's a little busy lately out in Washington, D.C. So on behalf of the Congressman, thank you, Hillel, for the invitation to speak today. We made it, almost. After 2 decades of battles, through trials and tribulations, the Beverly and Joseph Glickman Hillel Center at UCSD is now closer than ever to becoming a reality. There have been unprecedented challenges, planning groups, city council meetings, and even a few courtrooms. You've overcome it all. For over 20 years, supporters of Hillel at UCSD worked tirelessly to build a center for Jewish learning, and throughout this fight, I've been there by your side. Hillel at UCSD offers a critical space for both Jewish and non-Jewish students alike to come together and connect with the community, engage in open dialogue, and learn about Israel. In a time when anti-Semitic attacks are at historic highs, and many students express fear of displaying their Jewish identity publicly, the Glickman Hillel Center will serve as a center for bringing people together in a safe environment where Judaism is something that we celebrate rather than silence. Thank you to the entire Glickman Gallinson family and all the other supporters for making this day possible. And of course, a special thank you, and let us all remember Chicky and Birdie, as many of you knew them, for their lifetime dedication to Tikkun Olam and building a better world. Thank you.
I'm going to pull a mom. Hi, everybody. I'm Laura Gallinson, and I want to point out, thank you. I want to acknowledge that Jason Berkowitz is also one of our family. He's the 4th generation working on this project because he's married to Naima Solomon, and that's Herb's granddaughter. So I want to acknowledge that part too. Thanks, Jason. And I want to thank all of you for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of this dream. Being here is like such a feeling of affirmation. I really can't explain the feelings I'm feeling. I know that we're like in the right space at the right time, and I feel really privileged enough to work towards such an important goal. I really feel like it's kind of like a holy purpose. I feel like I have this calling to kind of carry on my grandparents' and my parents' wishes. As I look back out at every face sitting here today, I know my dad, Murray Gallinson, and my grandfather, Chicky Glickman, are smiling down on all of us. In 2016, my pop, I call him Pop, my pop shared his vision for the Jewish future in San Diego, and he made a huge investment in Hillel because he knew that it would be the place where his legacy would make an enduring impact. He was a diehard about Jewish continuity. He knew that it was the responsibility of his generation to plant the seeds for the next generation. The more we build for the future, the more likely we are to continue thriving. Hillel was one of his deep investments in the future. His what really gave me strength and motivation to keep going. You know that he lived for over 102 years. And he had such a joie de vivre. He never gave up. And I carry that drive with me. My dad was also committed to seeing this Hillel built because he knew anti-Semitism. He knew what it felt like, and he knew how critical it was to have a beautiful space for young people to feel seen, to feel heard, and to be reminded of their value. My dad used to tell this story to us about when he took my mom to the prom. Mom was 16, he was 18. Well, he shared with me that her prom was in Minneapolis. She went to a different high school at a country club that prohibited Jewish members. And he told me that, they went anyway, and they had a good time. But what it did was it kind of planted this seed on what the importance is, to build something and do a mitzvah together to continue the Jewish community. It was a real social justice element to it, and that's what my dad was all about, and that's what he pretty much taught all of us. And now as I look out at all of you, I look at this land, and I see our collective future. I see possibility and hope for a better tomorrow because we as a community have committed to it. We've gotten our hands dirty, we've planted the seeds for this beautiful garden, and we are now going to see the fruits of our labor. And it definitely does take a village. This would not be possible without each and every one of you investing in Hillel together. With your generosity, with your skills, with your advocacy, every single one of you have played a part in this. The highest form of tzedakah is community giving. It's when we do the mitzvah together. I want to thank you truly on behalf of my dad, my grandparents, my mom, and our whole family, and Herb. We're 4 generations that worked on this dream. And with all of you together, we truly embodied the value of Lador Vador. As we go to build this beautiful Beverly and Joseph Glickman Hillel Center, I'm reminded of the power of our San Diego Jewish community. A few years before my grandfather died, we planted right here a pomegranate tree. And I don't believe in coincidences. I think things happen for a reason, and the pomegranate tree bore fruit this year, right before this. And to me, that's amazing. I believe that's a way of my grandfather saying that we're ready. We planted the seed for this dream together, and now we really have a chance to watch it grow. I want to thank you all for being here, for helping grow something truly special, for caring about the Jewish continuity for Hillel, and for your generosity of heart. And now, I'm so incredibly honored and proud, with lots of pride, to introduce our next speaker. Mayor Todd Gloria has always been a strong supporter of Hillel since 2000, when he and Tony Atkins, when Tony was in the city council, actually got involved in this project. Mayor Gloria is a true friend of mine and an ally of the Jewish community, and continues to go above and beyond. I want to welcome you to the stage, Mayor Todd Gloria.
I don't know, should I take the step stool or should I not take the step stool? I'm not a full-size man, I'm more a fun-size man, but I won't use it nonetheless. Laura, thank you for that introduction, and good morning, everyone. It is truly an honor to be here with all of you this morning for this celebration of groundbreaking here at the Beverly and Joseph Glickman Hillel Center. I want to thank Laura for that kind introduction, and I want to commend the Gallants and Glickman family for its contributions. It shouldn't take 4 generations to get a project like this done, but in many ways that's the San Diego way, isn't it? I mean, we talk about airports and stadiums and convention centers at length. So just add Hillel to the long list of projects that have taken far too long, but it's reflective of the persistence of this community. And like Laura, I don't believe in just coincidence. I think things happen for a reason. And let me state very clearly from the beginning, as mayor of this great city, we should have been here years ago. We should have been here years ago. It's taken far too long to get here, but if you believe that the universe does things for certain reasons, I think about the times we find ourselves in. Here we are gathered, probably for the first time for many of you in a very long time, with a large group of people, with masks on, even though we're outdoors, in the midst of a pandemic that hasn't just harmed our health, but has harmed our mental health, harmed our community, and drug us further apart, divided us as a community. Maybe this is exactly when we need a Hillel to come into our community, to help bind up those wounds and bring us closer together, Jews and non-Jews together, because, gosh, we have a day where we will defeat this pandemic, and we will come back together. And the question is, will we become stronger because of it? And I believe that we will, but this groundbreaking today gives me greater confidence that in fact, will happen. I want to say on behalf of the city, and I'm joined today by Councilmember Joe LaCava, who represents this great community. Joe, it's always great to see you, and thank you for your great leadership here in District 1. I want to thank Joe's predecessor, former Councilmember Barbara Bree, who is also here, for her vote in 2017 that actually made this project possible. Barbara, thank you for your vote. And I want to thank this community for raising a tremendous sum of money, with a large mark still left to go, so be sure to help out if you can, for doing this at a time when we absolutely need it. And my good friend Chancellor Kosla will speak here in a moment, but I want to put this in a broader context before taking a seat, recognizing there are a number of other speakers and some ground to be broken. We don't need to drag this out any further. But I will say that this investment here at Hillel really is an investment in San Diego. And when I think about what I'm trying to do as the mayor of this great city, is really to create a circumstance where we all feel included, where we all feel like we can be successful, where we all have opportunity that's here. Many of you know that I'm the first person of color and the first LGBTQ person ever to serve as mayor of this city. I think about what it was to be a freshman student at the University of San Diego, just a few miles down the road, and to wonder whether or not I fit in on that campus, whether there was a place for me. In fact, there was. There was a student center, a multicultural center, where every time I felt the pains of discrimination and of exclusion, that there at least was a safe place that I could go and find out who I was and get my bearings and then persist. That's what Hillel's going to do. And by investing in this center, adjacent to this incredible campus, and Pradeep, thank you for the great work that you do there, I believe that this is an investment in our broader San Diego community. Our ability to commit and to compete in the 21st century is directly related to the number of seats that are here at this university. And so as we continue to invest in the University of California at San Diego, as we create more seats, or as I like to call them, slots of opportunity, what we do are not just informing these people, these children, I shouldn't call them children, I'm feeling old, these students, investing in these students, it's not just about the knowledge, but it's about the compassion. It's about the ability to connect with one another, to embrace the diversity of this great city, and to be able to compete successfully on a global stage. That's what's happening at this campus. That's why Hillel is important, because it provides that additional extra piece, that special sauce to really give the emotional intelligence, the diversity, the understanding, the placement in the world, and allow us to do better as a community. This is what will keep us on the cutting edge. This is what will keep us successful and prosperous as a city. This is what will allow us to compete with any other city on the face of this earth. You all are helping to make that possible. And I deeply appreciate your investment here and your persistence. So let me just conclude by saying once again, this took way too long. Groundbreakings are great. Ribbon cuttings are even better. Please invite me back when it comes time to cut that ribbon so that we can celebrate the success of this community, this beautiful San Diego Jewish community who has achieved so much in so many corners of this great city and who is now going to add Hillel San Diego as the latest chapter of accomplishments here in the city of San Diego. Thank you all again for including me today. I'll turn it back over to
Thank you, Mayor Gloria, for speaking today and honoring us with your support. My name is Lisa Motenko, and I am the Associate Executive Director of Hillel of San Diego. It has been an honor, thank you. It has been an honor to serve the students at UC San Diego for the past 2 years and engage with them during this important chapter of their Jewish journeys. Hillel serves our students in so many ways. We are the Jewish face on campus, the home away from home, the friendship connector, the leadership incubator. We educate our students about relevant topics such as Israel, Jewish holidays and texts, values, liturgy, philosophy, and history. We stand with and advocate for our students when they face anti-Semitism in their classrooms and dorms. We build relationships with the university administration to make sure that they understand the Jewish experience on campus. We mentor our students to be the best versions of themselves because they are the leaders of our future. In short, we meet students where they are and support them in exploring Judaism on their own terms as emerging adults. Could all of this be done without a building? To some degree, sure. But let me paint a picture of what life could be like with the Glickman Hillel Center. It's Friday afternoon, the fall of 2023. A freshman walks into Hillel, and a friendly student at the welcome desk greets her. She then walks over to a wall filled with pictures of her peers and smiles, seeing her own image reflected in a mirror on the wall. Entering the courtyard, she sees friends hanging out and studying with Hillel mugs in their hands, and she smells the delicious challah baking in the kosher kitchen by student volunteers. Once inside the main building, she finds Tritons for Israel meeting in a conference room over here, the Jewish a cappella group singing around a piano over here, and a handful of students sitting on beanbags debating Jewish philosophy. A Hillel staff approaches and invites her to grab a cup of coffee upstairs. She already feels like she belongs here, and she can't wait to build community in this beautiful space. As you can see, the Glickman Hillel Center will become the go-to place for all things Jewish. But in the long run, this building will actually change the course of UCSD history. I firmly believe that with a permanent presence through this new space, our community will become more vibrant, and prospective students will know that UC San Diego is a great place to be Jewish. Heck yeah. And while I could talk about Hillel all day, the people you should hear from are our students. So it is my pleasure to introduce Lucy Beckett and Ashkan Hassani to speak about Hillel from a student perspective.
Hello. Probably the most common questions people ask me about because, to be fully honest, I talk about Hillel all of the time. What is Hillel? When is Hillel? Who is part of Hillel? And, of course, why we're all here. Where is Hillel? My answer for just about all of it? Home. When I decided to move 500 miles away from where I grew up to attend UCSD, I, like many, felt lost. Luckily, however, I knew about the organization Hillel and contacted Hillel staff at UCSD practically the moment I arrived. And once I figured out where to go, to the house on the corner across from the theater district, it quickly became where I spent most of my time, where I studied, where I ate, where I made friends. But still, I can never truly encapsulate what Hillel of San Diego is into words. It just doesn't do it justice. It's a safe space where anyone, you don't even have to be Jewish, can feel welcome. Granted, it has been a little harder. They've made it work, but this new building will mean so much to everyone. No longer will staff members have to share bedrooms as offices. No longer will we have to worry about how many people we can fit into a living room for Shabbat dinner. No longer will we need to worry about having food ready because the trays can't all fit onto our limited counter space. This day really has been a long time coming. Just about every time I connect to other Jewish community members, whether through working for local synagogues, being a nanny and a babysitter, or even just having a conversation with the person next to me in the kosher section of Ralph's, I'll mention Hillel at UCSD and will be asked, "Oh, did they start building yet?" I've only been here a couple of years, so I can only imagine the anticipation of everyone else who has a stake in the Glickman Hillel Center. It's surreal being able to stand here, to be here when they break ground. It's become clear to me that it's not only something UCSD students, staff, and alumni have been waiting for, but also the greater community. This will not just be a greater convenience for UCSD's Hillel, but it represents the fact that Hillel's work means something, and that its presence is only becoming greater. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ashkan Asani. I'm a recent graduate from the UCSD Herbert Wortham School of Public Health, and I'm very honored to have a moment of your time. During my time at UCSD, I was quite involved in a various amount of activities, from student government to the Iranian cultural organizations to pre-health communities. And once upon a time, during a typical 5-hour budget meeting for student government, I met a very spunky Israel fellow named Shir Zaria, who was also giving a presentation during that meeting. Little did I know at that time that that event would lead me to speaking here today. My experience with Hillel started when Shir brought me on the 2019 Winters Fact Finders program, which was a 10-day trip organized by Hillel that brings student leaders from both Jewish and non-Jewish from across campus to the Israel and Palestinian territories to get a first-hand account of the conflict. Beyond helping me and a busload of my peers barely scratch the surface of that conflict because it is very convoluted, we had the honor of experiencing the culture, exploring history-rich cities from Bethlehem to Tel Aviv and everything in between. Special shout out to Haifa from a Baha'i perspective. And we even broke halal at a kibbutz, which is, I think, the quintessence of the Israeli experience. This adventure blossomed into newfound friendships and relationships with the Jewish community in San Diego, including the Brothers of API, to the student leaders of Tridents for Israel, a student organization. And none of this would have been possible without a physical hub like Hillel, a place that hosted Shabbat dinners, programmed events for holidays like Tu B'Shvat, hold conversations through the Jewish Learning Fellowship with the amazing Lisa Matenko, and introduced me to even more Hebrew buzzwords that make me seem more relatable right now. You may ask, why is the UCSD Hillel important to me as a non-Jewish student at UCSD? Well, without the Hillel, I would have never have stepped into such a historically vast community. I would have never had the opportunities to sit down and engage with these individuals. I would have never been able to understand their stories. So how can I advocate for the Jewish community without knowing its members? How can I be an ally without first being their friend? There's a proverb, I can't quite place it, but it says that it takes many sparks to make a flame. I think you guys know that better than I do. And I believe this Hillel building will be both a physical landmark and a metaphorical foundation that gives the Jewish community a presence at UCSD that students can connect to, that students can go to light their sparks. My introduction to the community was unique, pure happenstance. I could have skipped the 5-hour budget meeting, which was very likely, and I would never have met Sheer. I would never gone to Fact Finders, and I've never experienced a wonderful community at Hillel. This building, however, will guarantee more positive experiences like mine for the UCSD community, and that is something I am happy to be an advocate for. Thank you.
I don't know about you, but I just like have chills. Like this is what it's for, right? Like our students. And now I have the distinct honor to introduce UC San Diego's Chancellor Pradeep Khosla. Under Chancellor Khosla's leadership, UC San Diego has expanded college access and affordability to underserved students, initiated campus-wide interdisciplinary research initiatives to foster collaboration and solve societal challenges, and strengthened university and community partnerships to drive regional impact. He's been an incredible supporter of Hillel and continues to cultivate an environment at UCSD that celebrates diversity and ensures Jewish students are embraced and a valued part of the UC San Diego community. Chancellor.
Thank you, Karen. Hello, everybody. Good morning, and it is such a great pleasure to see you all after nearly 2 years. There are many faces I'm seeing literally for the first time after 2 years, and you all look spectacular. So thank you very much for being here. It's a great honor for me to be here. You know, as I've listened to everybody out here, it's easiest for me to say ditto, because everything that has been said, I completely agree with and I completely support. And it's extremely difficult to follow spectacular speakers. Laura, you were just tremendous. I mean, seriously, that was a very heartfelt speech. Really appreciate this. Todd, Gloria, you're amazing, a great leader, and you spoke from your heart. And most often, I'm proud of my students. You know, you were amazing, and it reminded me that many years ago, like 9 years ago when I first got here, I'll tell you a couple of stories. There were clearly issues between different factions of students, and one of the things that our colleagues decided that what we're going to do is bring them all together and put them in a room and have them figure out things. So part of the conversation led to the National Center for Conflict Resolution. Elaine Gallinson, Rep. Solomon, thank you. Really appreciate your support because that center has made a big difference in creating a safe space for honest conversations between different classes of students and different students coming from different countries. And it's not just the Middle East, it's also the Far East, the Southeast, because there's tensions all across the world right now. And the Middle East was just like the first of many. So that's one. Secondly, we were one of the first institutions, probably the only one at that time, to create a kosher halal cafeteria. And it still is a matter of pride for me. But I can tell you, it was not the outcome that was significant. It was a process that led to the outcome, that led to the process of conversations, the process of agreeing to disagree and agreeing when you're going to agree. And that process led to a very nice, at least in my mind, ambiance on campus. And our campus has been one of the most more peaceful campuses in the country. But this does not happen by accident. It happens because I have some amazing people who are part of my leadership team. If you will allow me, I want to take 30 seconds to say who they are. My colleague, Executive Vice Chancellor, Dr. Elizabeth Simmons. Elizabeth, thank you. My other colleague, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, Dr. Allison Saddleton, thank you. She cares a lot about student health and equity. And my other colleague, Vice Chancellor for Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, Dr. Becky Pettit, thank you. And between this leadership team, we care a lot about students. We have multiple resource centers supporting people of various persuasions, of various identities. And this Hillel is going to be yet another addition. I know that the students think it's for them. I think this Hillel is going to make UC San Diego, as was said before, a stronger place. You're doing it for UC San Diego. You're doing it for the community. We are going to have a stronger relationship with our Jewish students. the Jewish students with the community, and us with the community. And there could never be a better tripartite relationship leading to better outcomes. So I really, really appreciate whatever is being done out here. So my little part in all of this, 9 years ago when I first got here, I used to live on this street right here in Torrey Pines, this north, down like maybe like 5 blocks down. And I would see people come and park every morning. My colleagues would park here, then walk to campus. But within the first 3 months of coming here, the leadership of Hillel came and said, you know what, we're trying to build this Hillel out here, but the community says it's going to cause a parking issue. So we need you to help us with the parking. And I'm thinking, I see everybody parking out here. I don't know what the parking issue is. Nonetheless, I said, you know what, I'll give you free parking, not a problem. And that was like 9 years ago. And then lo and behold, I got some angry messages saying, why are you giving free parking? But it was the right thing to do. I was doing it for my students because my students needed this. Our community needed this. And I'm so glad that the persistence, the perseverance has all paid off. And if I may use Laura's words, has borne fruit. So congratulations, and thank you very much for being here. And I'm here to support you. Thanks.
Thank you again, Chancellor Khosla, and thank you to all of the incredible leaders who have spoken today. Mayor Gloria, we should have been here years ago, but thank you. We're here now. I'm reminded of this amazing moment in Torah. The end of the books, Moses kind of comes in, he's like, all right, let me tell you where we've been. I'm gonna recap the whole Torah for you. Thanks, we got this. And he basically says to the Israelites, don't forget where you came from, and don't forget to show gratitude for the moment. We learn not to take celebrations without acknowledging that they only exist because of those who came before us. We are the fruit born from the trees, a pomegranate tree if we're going to stay on brand for today. And this building is a reflection of the foresight and deep love for Jewish peoplehood in San Diego. We finally reached this groundbreaking only because of the many leaders who stood before us. And I have to tell you, like, we're talking about UCSD, and I feel like I'm a student at UCSD again. And I remember in the early 2000s, dating myself, being cramped into the Multicultural Center, sitting next to my friends, enjoying Shabbat dinner. Actually, I explicitly recall sipping some chicken soup while hearing from Carrie Copans about this new Hillel Center that we were getting, and my eyes just lighting up in anticipation for what could be. Today, we are here standing on the backs of giants. Over the last year, I've made my rounds to better understand Hillel as the executive director, and I've spoken to many leaders in our community, and I'm continually wowed, though honestly, I'm not surprised, about the deep investment San Diego has made in our Jewish future. I'm so inspired that our community's young people have been supported and cared for throughout this long pathway to building our new Hillel home. So I'm going to take you down memory lane. We're going to kind of like remember where we've been. Steve Solomon shared with me how Neil Singer and Bob Lapidus came out to this location and plotted it out. And I learned that the amazing... I know. Again, giants, rock stars. Okay, but I'm going to ask you to hold your applause because your hands are going to get tired because there's so many amazing leaders that we get to celebrate right now. I learned that the amazing trustees of the Melvin Garb Foundation, led by Stephen Cohen of blessed memory and Michael Berlin, provided all the initial funding to sustain the project through the legal and political challenges. Dr. Andrew Viterbi and Jerry Ann and Gary Jacobs helped pay for the land. The Potiker family gave us use of their wonderful home across the street rent-free for many years longer than originally intended. And then they donated a large portion of the house when converting ownership to us. I remember chatting with Elaine and Laura Gallinson, who described this dream to create something together for our college students, and watching their eyes light up as they spoke of Murray of blessed memory and Beverly and Joseph, or Bertie and Chicky, the philanthropic leaders of this dream. Elaine Gallinson and Herb Solomon related the many conversations they had with key community stakeholders who didn't even hesitate when asked to be a part of this dream with them. The Levinsons, the Jacobs, the Viterbes, the Silbermans, the Gleibermans, the Harrises, Turks, Epsteins, Einhards, and so many more. We would be here all day if I got to list everyone. And like I said, I feel like we're standing on the backs of giants. I learned how David Singer and countless staff like his mom, Lori Bulletin of blessed memory, Savon Diamond, and many other lay leaders mapped out the campaign and bolstered support. The many board members who genuinely believed they would see this building built during their tenure and who continued to work for this project long after. Ooh, this part's gonna make me cry, but Rabbi Lisa Goldstein made me promise I would find a way to honor all the students that came before, that spoke up and spoke out, and who deserved a Hillel home. And I've had the distinct honor of working with Michael Levinson, who along with Steve Strauss brought in Barrett Anderson and Summer Wynn from Cooley to nobly fight to affirm that we have a right to be here. It is our home. And Robin Madaffer, who is still an incredible force for us with navigating our land use. Each week, Hillel has a team of consummate professionals like our architecture team at MW Steel, Dave Bates and our project management from Hughes Marino, and our remarkable construction team from Pacific Builders Group. They're ready. They brought their equipment. And I would be remiss if I didn't celebrate past president David Michon, who is fearlessly leading this project. And truthfully, he's so patient with me as a newbie builder. He's teaching me why I should care about storm drain systems. I care now, thanks. We are here because of each of them. We're here because of the commitment of Michael Rabkin, who continues to be a partner and friend. And we're here because of our Hillel board, chaired by Todd Kirshen, and with leadership from Mitch Siegler, Wayne Harris, Jody Diamond, Joel Smith, Steve Levine, Jerry Goldberg, and Emily Genowine. Okay. And we are here because of our amazing Hillel staff, including Lisa Matenko, and our entire team who continue to come together and change the lives of thousands of young people every single day. Those students, well, we had 2 students get the chance to thank you, but the majority of them don't get the chance to thank you. So on behalf of each of them, as one of them, thank you for being here. And thank you to Lisa Kalal for her hard work on today's celebration. And there are so many others who left their unique fingerprints on this building. So many hands working together to lift these walls. And I am sure I am missing so many names that equally deserve to be noted and celebrated. And I promise you, I hold you each so deeply in my heart. This building is being built with strong Jewish roots. It's rising with our love for a Jewish future. It's being constructed with the sweat and tears and frustrations of many people who labored tirelessly for decades. It's being built with the heart and soul of San Diego. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank each of you who have invested in the next generation through your commitment to this Glickman Hillel Center. As a steward of your investment, I can tell you the ROI, or return on investment, is going to be so much greater than any of us could have ever imagined. And I'm very excited and honored to share with you that Jerry Ann and Gary Jacobs are actually inviting the community to close the campaign with $1 million matching grant to challenge us to rise to the occasion and get through this final push. We have amazing momentum, and with little under $4 million to raise to get this project fully funded, I am confident our community is going to get it done. Okay. Thank you for being here and for believing in our shared Jewish future. Okay, let's get our hands dirty and start building. I'm going to invite each of you to, at some point, come up. We have lots of hard hats and lots of shovels to take part and get a picture with your hard hat on and a shovel in the ground, since each of you should know that you are a part of history. And since logistically that would be crazy, crazy, I'm going to call up a few people now, And I'd love for you to join in. And then afterwards, please join us in the Potiker House backyard for some light refreshments and some good schmoozing. So for now, I'm going to call up some people. And then when I get over there, I have a really loud voice. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and everyone is going to scream Mazel Tov. Yes? Cool? Okay. All right. I invite Todd Kirshen, Elaine Gallinson, Laura Gallinson, Herb Solomon, Steve Solomon, Sandy Levinson, Michael Berlin, Jerry Ann and Gary Jacobs, Bob Lapidus, David Michon, Mayor Gloria, Chancellor Koslaw, and Lisa Matenko to join me in literally breaking ground on our Beverly and Joseph Glickman Hillel Center. Okay, are you guys, should we do one Mazel Tov just as a practice? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think that was like good, but I think it can be excellent. So you're just gonna have to like stand and say it much louder, and you'll hear me count to 3, okay?
Mazel Tov! Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, oh lekol Israel. 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 Hey, hey, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Mazel Tov.
Let us retell the story of our struggle for the promised promised land. Let us remember how freedom is won, so our children will understand. Once we were slaves in Egypt, our people and our land were apart. But when Moses stood before that troubled sea, he could make those waters part. Once we were slaves in America, we were given white men's names. They scattered our families, they shattered our lives, while they kept us bound in chains. Then we marched strong. And when Martin stood before that troubled sea, he could make those waters part. Make those waters part. Somewhere tonight lives a free man. Somewhere else freedom's just a song of the heart. We must find the river flowing between them, and we must make those waters part. Make those waters part. Make those waters part. Now we are slaves in Soweto, the many at the hands of the few. And we who've crossed the sea of slavery before must remember what we must do. In the name of the falsely imprisoned, in the name of all the homeless at heart, in the name of all the history that binds us, we must make those waters part. Make those waters part. Make those waters part. Troubled seas rising around us. Sometimes the promised land seems hidden from view. So we retell these stories. That's how we start to make those waters part. 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 Make those waters
Sounds good, I will. Take care.
Shalom Aleichem, Eveinu Shalom Aleichem, Baruch Haba. Welcome, please come in. Eveinu Shalom Aleichem, glad to see you. Eveinu Shalom Aleichem. Time with you is precious. It hurries by so fast. All too soon the future soon becomes the past. But now we are together in friendship and in peace. Hevenu shalom aleichem. Shalom aleichem. Hevenu shalom aleichem. Baruch haba. Welcome, please come in. Heveinu Shalom Aleichem, glad to see you. Heveinu Shalom Aleichem. Like Abraham, our father, we greet you with Shalom. Like Sarah, our mother, our home is your home. With thanks to our Creator, we gather here to sing. Heveinu Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Heveinu Shalom Aleichem. Baruch haba. Welcome, please come in. Heveinu Shalom Aleichem. Glad to see you. Heveinu Shalom Aleichem. Heveinu Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Heveinu, Heveinu Shalom, Shalom.
Shalom, 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 shalom. It's time to heal a
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atah hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atah hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה לשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atah hu melech adon lechol hashalom.
Just a reminder, there's a reception in the house across the street. Reminder that there's a reception. How'd you turn it on? Hello? Hello? Reminder.
Tasim